It rests on 13 acres of earth over the very center of hell. The last house on the left. Here is the first motion picture to offer to the daring a look into the final maddening space between life and death. The last house on the left. Caution. To avoid fainting, keep repeating. It's only a movie. Only a movie. Only a movie. Sights and sounds far beyond anything you've tested. The last house on the left. Offered by Sean Cunningham Films Limited in color. Caution. To avoid fainting, keep repeating. It's only a movie. Only a movie. Only a movie.
Oh, what is up? How's everybody doing tonight? Hopefully very well. Back for my second time today. Well, I guess technically this is a different day, but tonight is Last House on the Left from 1972. Wes Craven's very first movie, as you just heard. Keep repeating, it is only a movie. Only a movie. Prism already been in the chat saying, gotta work tomorrow. Just wanted to stop in and say, hey, give some support. Appreciate that very, very much. Ninja doing the same thing. Drop in and say hello. How you doing, Ninja? What's going on, man? Jason, my friend. I intend on it, man. I intend on it. Thank you very much. Give me a thumbs up on the way out if you would. Appreciate it much. Hope you enjoyed the little radio trailer there. Yeah, Last House on the Left. Oh man, history of this film. I don't think this film's given the credit that it deserves. It's not quite the punch that it's been a great visit at the same time. In a way, I think it's much more disturbing because the betrayal of Krug Stilla is so haunting. The criminals in this feel so real. Hey, trick or treat! Glad you came in. Glad you're saying something. Talk to me. Talk to me. It's awesome. The movie ready for the watch party. Awesome. Awesome. Always welcome. Always very welcome, my friend. By the way, trick or treat. Am I talking to a girl or a guy? Probably a guy. Guys tend to gravitate a little more toward me than girls for some reason. Maybe I'm a creepy guy. I don't know. Did you hear the addition of the radio guy? That's what I figured. Yeah. Did I call it? Did I call it? Did I call it? Hey, doesn't matter. That's all cool with me. Yeah. David Hess, I think, puts on a great haunting performance. I mean, he just looks like Krug, doesn't he? He looks just like Krug. You know, I mean, these criminals. Jeremy Rain. Before we get off here, I'll show you. I have an autograph from Jeremy Rain that plays Sadie. In case you guys don't know, after this, she met, married, and had children with Richard Dreyfuss. Yes, that Richard Dreyfuss. Um, Fred Lincoln that plays Weasel. He was in pornography and directed and starred in lots of pornography films. Went on to talk a lot of crap about this movie, about garbage it was and all this, yet was in pornography and directed and made pornography throughout his whole life. He talked about this movie being garbage. Go figure that. David Hess, of course, I'm sure everybody knows, does the music in this, does all the music in this. Was a great musician. He also he also taught film. Um, uh, Sandra Peabody, which plays Mary Collingwood. You can see she also went by she was by Cedric Cassell in this. Um, she ended up directing and winning an Emmy in 1992 for a children's show called Popcorn. Um, well, she played Phyllis Lucy Grantham. She was in pornography and things like that. Of course, the sheriff's deputy, um, Martin Cove. He was the sensei in the original Karate Kid. Lots of history in this movie. The 80s, 40s, especially 80s. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Do a lot of that stuff, man. Plan on doing a lot of that stuff. You're still kind of new to the channel, aren't you? So you just see me do all kinds of shit, man. I'm crazy in the shit house dress. So um uh anybody that's ready, let me see. Yeah, I'm a star from prison. Prism's been with me from the beginning. So loyal and so cool. Such a very, very, very cool guy. Always gives support. I cannot say enough. Much, much love to Prism. But yeah. Let me turn this down, make sure I don't get no flags. Hopefully they don't flag me on that radio trailer. But I just kind of had to do it. I had to do the it's only a movie thing. All right. If everybody's ready, let's go with 5, 4, 3, 2. Ooh, wait, pause. Wait. I what's ready here? Gotta make sure my stuck on 2 here. Make sure my subtitles are ready. All right. 2, 1, go. The events you're about to witness are true. Names, locations have been changed to protect those individuals still living. Yeah, there's something about it, and there's so many things I have to say about this movie as we go along. Um, I checked out all the featurettes and everything, and done actually a lot. I've studied a lot into this movie. Something about it I just really like. Um, I definitely think this is Craven's Sleeper. It has got such a bad rap for so many years. And being made in 1972, you understand why it was banned and all that kind of stuff at that time because it's not that the scenes show a lot, they're extra explicit because there's definitely much worse. I think it's just the fact that it's got such a real feeling to it. I think because during the shooting, the actress that plays Mary Collingwood, she was actually terrified of them, and they kind of fucked with her, and made her scared. They kind of stayed in character around her and messed with her. So she was actually terrified. So this has a really, really deep feel of realism in it. It's a really tragic feel. This movie. I do not like the remake. I'm not a fan of the remake. I watched it. I prefer the I Swear on Your Grave remake, but no, the remake of Last House on Your Left I do not like. I think it loses everything that makes this one special. You go out there, let's check it out. Don't know where to find it, man. You can find this thing free on Pluto, Plex, Tubi. Tubi's usually everybody's go-to, but I have the Arrow limited edition. Yeah. So now I also got DVD and I'll show off a little more, but I also have the original motion picture soundtrack on vinyl. I'll show that stuff off here in a little bit. Long autograph. Really good acting in this too. If there is any weak acting, I would have to say it's the parents. The one that plays the father was actually the agent, to a couple of the actors here. He goes by a few different things. Gaylord St. James, she's his usual name, plays Doc Collingwood. In this, I don't remember if it's Gaylord St. James or Richard Towers. But he's one of the two, I do believe. And the mom, of course, Cynthia Carr. She's got an AKA too, but I don't remember what it was. Sadly, not so much timeless, I mean, got the peace sign and all that kind of stuff there. Bloodlust. anybody knows anything about current or heavy metal over the last 20, 30 years, Motley Crue had a reputation for somehow for cutting up and killing chickens on stage over here about 20, 30 years ago. And every time I hear that about this Bloodlust band, it reminds me of Motley Crue. I was a big Crue fan back in the day. Probably not so surprising. Dig the peace sign necklace. That's pretty cool. I probably shouldn't have been a hippie. If I was old enough, I would have free love and all that kind of stuff, you know. Oh, it is, but I always found I don't know, something about the chick that plays Phyllis. I always found, the friend, the more streetwise friend. I always found her attractive. So there's something about her. I love this part where she says, "Well, my parents are in iron and steel business." Oh, really? Oh, that's interesting. Both together, how unusual. So yeah, my mother irons and my father steels. And this is what you're telling, and you're saying, you're saying this to a straight up, downright type home like a doctor, and his wife, a homemaking wife and a doctor. You come in, you just casually tell them, oh yeah, my parents are iron steel business. My mother irons and my father steels. And she just didn't even think two things about saying it. Hey, Junebug in the chat. How you doing, Junebug? Seen you in a minute. How you doing, man? You fan of Last House? Right here, if you want to watch along. Timestamp is about 4 seconds away from 6 minutes. Right at 6 minutes right now. Or, like I said, if you want to jump in and bullshit and co-watch, the link is in the chat. This is open co-watch night, so anybody that wants to can jump in and out. If they want. I thought of doing that once a week. I want to do like an open co-watch, and then like Tuesday night, me and Steele will be in here at 11 o'clock. Well, 11:05. I usually go with 05. For some reason, I'm like Superstation WTVS. I have to go with 05. But Tuesday night, it'll be me and Steele doing Burial Ground. If anybody knows what Burial Ground is, covering from a cold. Bummer. Johnson. See, you just get the idea that she just really doesn't get the idea. You know what I mean? You can tell she's really naive, Mary. She's talking about, you can tell this is like a heavy rock band, right? They got a reputation of killing chickens on stage. So it's like, but her idea, is making it with, Ronnie Johnson, which I think is either the singer or the guitar player of this Bloodlust band. And her ultimate dream, of course, is making it with him on some cotton, real gentle. She's comparing that with, with what a rock star. And I just don't think that it's just, it kind of shows you how naive the character is. It was just one of those colds that lasted a long time. The worst part was the story. Yeah. Oh yeah. You're still. Yeah. This is. It was telling you about. I love how subtly they give you backstories on or backstory on the characters here without really, let you know all about Krug. It tells you what a dastardly person Krug is. He gets his own son hooked on heroin, and that he's in prison for killing a priest and two nuns, and knowing how he is, chances are he assaulted those nuns too. So you're assaulting and murdering nuns and priests. and then Weasel is, you know, some kind of a child molester. So it's like shows you what you're dealing with. That scene in Ray, it's funny. The year before, the exact same song, of course, was in Clockwork Orange. Oh man, taught by Wes Cravens because before this he was a teacher. Yeah. Who's you trying to say there, man? The end. Yeah. As the, did you know Junebug that Jeremy Rain that she was after this she met, married, and had children with Richard Dreyfuss. Few people that I told about that, you know, they're like Richard Dreyfuss. I said, yeah, the Richard Dreyfuss. It's crazy. I've been taught by Wes Craven. Yeah, Wes is the intellectual man. You know, it's weird because he was a hippie too, you know, and being raised by, you know, Christian, like Christian, serious Christian parents. You know, it's no wonder why, you know, his early filmmaking was a little bit on the harsh side. You know, he had to break free of that. You ever notice anybody that's raised in a strict Christian type household, they just the first work they ever do is always, you know what I mean? It's a little more on the edge. You know, you can't shelter somebody that hard, you know, and force them to be sheltered that hard and expect them not to want to bust free. You know, Wes was a smart motherfucker, man. Too bad he's gone. Yeah, people like him, Toby Hooper, it's crazy. George Romero, wow, yeah, that's three of our greatest directors, man, gone. Dude, to me, like I was saying earlier, I think the biggest catch of this show, man, is these three criminals, of course, and then Junior, you know, the son, the heroin addict. They just feel like real people, and I think that's what really gets to people about this movie. You know, and a lot of people complain about some of the goofy parts, with the cops and stuff like that. I think these kind of movies need that kind of thing. I think they need that break. You know, you can't stay that hard hitting and that serious, without some sort of a break. That's right. I think the score comes in handy a little bit in this movie. Some oh, yeah, great. Oh man, great is so yeah, great is so understated. Great is so huge, man. Isn't it the original Hills Have Eyes too? Yeah, yeah. Like even the bet, like you don't want to clean this up. Like the Arrow Limited Edition is about as clean as you want to get with this movie. Like I'm not sure. I mean, if they ever do 4K with it, they got to leave that in. You don't want to clean it up because it almost comes off like you know what I mean, like it's actually being shot. The camera, like somebody they know is shooting them actually doing what they do. If you take that grain out, you're gonna lose that. So anybody curious, we're at about 13 and a half minutes. We get some good Yeah, this is definitely in a time capsule. Grass making it, you know what I mean? But oh, I love that kind of talking, man. I think it is so fucking cool. I remember somewhat people talking like that. I was born in '73. And I can remember, a little bit of that, not a big bunch, but toward the late '70s, some of that shit was still going on. I remember it was still being referred to as grass and shit. I remember big joints not being referred to as blunt, they were dog legs, you know what I mean? I had an older brother about 9 years older than me, so, you know, you know, they were nickel bags, dime bags, you know what I mean? It was just part of the time. David Hess looks over this movie so much, man. You see this man and he just looks like you look at him and you see his name is Krug and you see what he does in this movie and you're like, yeah, but it turns out he's a down to earth, really nice, really intelligent, talented musician. David Hess is. I'm always a big fan of David Hess. Died years ago, 2011 or something like that. He's been dead over 10 years now. His son did the music. Did a remake of The Road Leads Nowhere for the remake, which I don't know if you heard me say earlier, but I don't care for the remake at all. I think it loses everything that makes this. Yeah, the moo. Kind of like The Exorcist, 1973. A lot of stuff that goes on, and this seems tame compared to what comes out now. But if you put yourself in the 1972, 73 bracket, you see something like this go on, you know what I mean? And, the harder parts, especially in the unrated version, it's like 1972, I bet it was bad. I remember seeing this, I seen parts of this when I was way too young, and I just happened to see parts of it, and it embedded itself in my brain. And then when I was older, of course, I watched the whole thing. I'm not sure what the mom did, but I do know this one playing Doc Collingwood, the dad. He was the agent. And yeah, it makes it even worse. Yeah, when you think about that, it makes it even worse that it's on our birthday, our 16th birthday, sweet 16th birthday. Do it to Wes Cravens. It's not like something Stephen King would come up with. You know what I mean? Like it happening on at the person's birthday. Like Stephen King couldn't have wrote it more tragic. No, you're not stupid. Most psychopaths aren't. Psychopaths aren't stupid people. They're just psychopaths. They're just psychotic. Just incapable of feeling the pain of others. Can't hear my TV, can you? Don't want to get any flags. I need YouTube up in my ass. So far, I don't have any flags. So, keep it that way. So if anybody can hear my TV, let me know, please. I appreciate it. So you just hear it here, and it's just, it's rough just here because, I mean, you know what's going on. This is early on in the filming, so she wasn't really, Sandra Peabody or Sandra Cassell, the one playing Mary Collingwood, she wasn't really traumatized yet, but they did so much to traumatize that poor girl in filming later on. Such a happy day. They're having a drink together. Mom and dad is just waiting for, 16-year-old girl to get home. Mom's worried she didn't come home. The concert ended at this time. She's living home. Oh, she's just going through, she's just growing up. She's just rebelling a little bit. It'll be fine. She'll be home. You don't imagine a million years she's been abducted by a bunch of psychos. God, you never. This is the kind of film that makes you afraid to let you know what I mean. I have a 15-year-old son. He'll be 16 next month, and it's terrifying. Imagine it'd be even worse, with a with a 16-year-old girl. If I had a 16-year-old daughter, I'm imagining, oh my God, imagine it'd be even scarier. I had a daughter, but she passed away right before she turned 3, so I never got to watch her become a teenager and stuff. But I did raise 2 boys. One, of course, as you might know, is Drake King. He's on here now and then. Echo in the chat, what's up, man? What's your thoughts on the original Last House on the Left, Echo? Echo saying hello. If you want to join us, we're on Tubi and a few other places. We're right at 21 minutes now, the timestamp. If you need me to update it, let me know. Anytime anybody needs me, anytime anybody joining, anybody needs me to update it, just let me know. No, I just saw it once, huh? Join in, check it out, man. Got the time. I was talking about Tuesday night. I'll be back here with. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do anything. I'll probably still do something Monday. I'm not sure yet. On the Monday night horror show. But Tuesday I'll be back on the Forgotten Horror Archive, doing Burial Ground with Steele. Me and John Steele will be in. That's one a lot of people haven't seen. But it's a pretty good zombie movie from 1980. What's the timestamp? Timestamp right now is 22 and a half minutes. 22:38, 22:30, 22:40. Just get it to about 23. I'll let you know when it's 23. Yeah, they just put the girls. They just put the girls in the trunk and just going down the road, enjoying themselves, having a stupid ass. He's trying to have a conversation with him, and just fucking, Sadie's riding him. This movie is originally known as the sixth crime of the century. There's also Krug and Company, and a couple others they thought about trying on it. They didn't change it to Last House on the Left. One of their publicity guys decided to change it to when it was playing at a drive-in theater here in the state that I live in, right here in Indiana. It was the first time they changed it and played it Last House on the Left. right here in my home state where they filmed that. I don't remember the town or whatever, but yeah, it was right here. And that started bringing in a lot more people. It has nothing to do with anything about the Last House on the Left, but they kind of did the same thing with I Spit on Your Grave. Just decided to change the name because it was, Day of the Woman for a long time. Well, not for a long time, but at least for a minute until it just wasn't getting people in there. You there, Echo? We're at 24 minutes, 22 seconds. We're sitting there, the sheriff's sitting there eating a piece of cake. Yeah. He puts his son down for not knowing how to work on the car here. Doesn't know what's wrong with the car. He has no clue. He's right there. Christ, didn't they teach you anything in reform school? Well, I say they can fix any car in 2 seconds. Well, why aren't you fixing it then, motherfucker? Since you know so fucking much. Father of the Year, they're true. Yeah. Remember about this movie is the music. Yeah. The music's crazy, man. Music's crazy. There he is, Sensei from Karate Kid. Martin Cove. Remember he played the Sensei, the asshole Sensei in the original Karate Kid. He was his brother-in-law to David Hess, who plays Krug. Krug was married to the old Sensei's sister. Yeah, she bitch motherfucker. Where you want? You spent all night fucking with her and assault her. What do you want? I did more than bite you. Yeah, that's a weird twist too. Where they take them to do all this is just right there. Just happened to car just happened to break down right there right by where she lives. My favorite part in the whole movie comes up here later on. I think it's really odd. This part that happens is just part that really shows the most humanity from the characters. The only humanity, really. And I think it's a really important part. I'll talk about it when it happens. I like the character of Junior too because you know what I mean. He's got hooked on heroin from his dad. He knows all this is wrong. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like what's going on. Yet, of course, naturally he wants to please his dad. He wants, he wants you know, that connection with his dad. He wants his dad to be proud. He wants his dad to like him. His dad's mean to him. He puts him down all the time. He knows his dad's a psychotic piece of shit. Yet he's still his dad, and yet he knows it's wrong what they're doing with these girls, So it's really an interesting character here with him. Yeah, they get all the way down, all the way down to threatening one if the other doesn't do what they say. Oh, lie! If you don't do this, then I'll just hurt your friend. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, degrade him like piss your pants. It's like what? Piss, piss my pants. She's like, no, fuck you. So then, well, you're not gonna do it. Well, it hurts your friend. So of course, her, caring about her friend, and then when she does it, they laugh at her. You know what I mean? It's stuff like this that really is really hard. It's really some cold shit, man. That's some cold shit to do all that and laugh at her. I was talking earlier when I was doing Australian Great, about the bullying element. That's that's bullying 101. You can't bully more than that. Make somebody do something and laugh at them and degrade them like that. I thought it was crazy. Several years ago, when I found out that this chick was the wife and mother of Richard Dreyfuss's kids and Richard Dreyfuss's wife. Oh, that's crazy. She stopped acting and everything, I guess, to, when she married Richard Dreyfuss. She stopped doing stuff like that so much to, what I mean, to become like a, what I mean, stay at home mom and raise the kids and stuff because, she's married Richard Dreyfuss, you know. He was winning enough awards for both of them. I think Junior come up with that idea because, I don't think it's so much that that's what he wanted to see, and have them make it with each other. I think he just maybe thought of the best way to keep him getting hurt. Maybe, of course, I mean, you never can tell. This is the point in the movie where I think Sandra Cassell was really getting traumatized because she got really traumatized by the making of this movie. I don't think she's ever really on camera ever really spoke about this movie. I've never seen an interview with her. If anyone out there has, let me know. Let me know because I would really like to know if Senator Cassell / Sandra Peabody has ever on camera has ever really commented or talked about this movie. Let me know in the chat or let me know in the comments if you're watching the replay. As far as I know, she hasn't. She doesn't talk about this movie. I think it was a really traumatic experience. Matter of fact, I know it was from from the other filmmakers and the other stars from here. What they've said about it. She was really not treated very well. And at one point, she left the set. I mean, she completely left and took off and just was gone. And we ended up talking her into coming back. That's how bad it got. So she's not so much in character as she's just for real terrified of. I mean, they weren't going to do nothing to her, but she didn't know that. At this time, see, the point here, and the point Wes Craven made was at this time there was a lot of snuff films being made, snuff films being made, and they were unknown filmmakers. So she didn't know, and they were going way off into the woods because that was the woods way out by Sean Cunningham's parents' house, and no one knew who Sean Cunningham or Wes Craven was or who the actors and shit was, and some of them were involved in pornography and this and that. She didn't know she was being taken off to make a snuff film and never be seen again. So, you can see why, she's a young, she's a young woman. You can see why she'd be scared. It's a good point, for real. Especially back, early 70s and all that kind of stuff was going on. She thought maybe she'd go out here with these people, there's a bunch of strange people who never come back again. There's a streetwise girl thinking about she's thinking, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here, try to get some home. Of course, Mary, from a character standpoint, Mary hasn't had the chance to let her know, hey, we're close to my house. I don't know. I don't know if Phyllis noticed that, but I don't think so. I don't think she'd been there very much, if at all. She came out earlier to pick her up, I think, but this is the woods. A lot of times the woods, one woods was like another. This Red Lincoln that plays Weasel puts this down a lot, puts this movie down a lot. But he does an awfully good job. You know what I mean? He's awfully into this role. You know, he talks about what garbage it is, but I don't know. He seemed to be having a pretty good time to me. He really does. Seems to be awfully into it to me for it to be such garbage. It's where Streetwise runs into Streetwise. She's Streetwise, but so is these criminals. You know, she just happens to get outnumbered here. There's, you know, or there's three of them after her. Well, there's two, but she didn't. You know, there's Krug around too. You know, it's just one of her. Lisa, man, I gotta give up cigarettes. She's desperate. You can just. This is during a part where Mark Scheffler, that plays Junior, talked about during this part here, where he didn't exactly treat her, but she wasn't getting it right, and he was having to take a lot of takes, and she wasn't getting it right. And he talked about how he grabbed her and held her over the side and showed her where there was this really deep fall, and said, "Hey, you know, I'm really sick of doing this. If you don't get it right, I'm going to toss you over this, and you'll fall down there, and you'll get hurt, and we'll call an ambulance, and they'll come and help you, and then that'll be it. So you better get it right on the next take." And she got it right on the next take. You know, so that's the kind of fucked up shit that she had to deal with. That was the part that you just seen right there, where she was calling him Willow. That's what happened there. That's how that part. That's how that scene was created. The scene right here, where basically I got lots of girlfriends. I'll give you these to know you're right. Yeah, that's the scene. She was screwing up, and he threatened to throw her off the side of the damn thing if she didn't get it right. Like I don't think he would have. I don't think he would, but I mean, like this desperate feel you get from her. I mean, she's really fucked up, man. I, First time I seen this, of course, I didn't know a lot of this, so I just thought she was, just, you know, I found that out. You know, it's easy to do a good job when you're really fucking traumatized. You know that's where you cross the line. It's no longer acting. You sure? You know, in the '70s shows, they loved making the cops look as ridiculous as possible. I mean, you can go through so many. I mean, you know, Smoking the Bandit. You know, I mean, do that. I mean, they just loved it. Just some bumbling idiots. Like when a couple of them, he's like, you know what? Sometimes I wish I was something else. And he's like, oh, he's like, no, it's like a duck or something. Here they go after him. There they go to the rescue. And this is a well-known scene. Here, yeah, this little cemetery here, this really old cemetery here, since I guess just part of a couple of acres that sit behind Sean Cunningham's parents' house. I guess there. This is shot in Connecticut at his parents' house. I always wondered if she was bullshitting her or not. I mean, because she didn't have to. She could have just grabbed her and started pounding on her. I wonder why she was bullshitting with her and telling her that. She didn't have to say, "Hey, I get you out of this." I wonder why she said that. She didn't have to do that. That was completely out of character for her to do that. Weird. I always wondered that. There we go. Mm. Timestamp is 40 minutes. And they're just catching up to Phyllis. She's finally tired. She kind of looks around like she's like maybe she sprained her ankle too. She thinks she's gotten away from him here. This is what she this is so heartbreaking because she looks and she's over the other side of the cemetery. She sees a road, busy with cars. You can see the smile. She's like, "Yes, I've gotten away. I can get us some help." And then it's like, it's like in wrestling. If anybody knows the wrestling terminology, this is what would be known as a false hope spot in wrestling. That's what it'd be called, the false hope spot. Like he's getting beat on, you gotta whip him off. He ducks, he come back, punch goes off. Oh, they reverse it, clothesline, and false hope spot. Yep, she thought she had it, and all next thing you know, there's Krug with a machete. And she tries to run this way, and then there they are, blocked off. And she's in big trouble too, because they're bad people. Like you're not gonna run into worse. Like he could come up with a worst case scenario, and they're really pissed too. She threw like dirt shit in his face. She hit her in the head with a rock. The crew's just mean and crazy anyway. He just likes to hurt women. To turn on for him. So I'm watching the unrated the most unrated version that's ever been released. There is a more unrated version, but it's not anything that Wes Craven ever allowed to be released. There is a worse version that I do believe played at the drive-in way back in the day, but I don't believe Craig because Craven after he made this, he in a way he sort of regretted it that that it gets as graphic as it does. So a lot of it he didn't allow to be released again. Yeah, I've never ever heard of in a real scenario. I've never heard of the police running out of gas or police car running out of gas. I mean, can you imagine? Yeah, this poster with her laying up against the tree. This is the main theatrical. Up in the corner, you'd say, Mary's 16 and she's dying. And even that, blah blah blah. It's just begun. But Phyllis, she's gonna rebel all the way to the end. They go out talking shit to her. She spits blood right in his face. Fuck you. Remember, she's a streetwise girl. She's the one from the city. She don't got a she don't got the doctor. For the dad. And she's the one with the parents with the mom irons and the dad steals. So noises. You know what I mean? This is not a whole lot of screaming. You know, I heard YouTube earlier. It was talking about this movie, and it's not much. You know what I mean? This is, and from what I've heard about, this type of thing, this is more like what really happened. Um, and the way they stick the music in that, when they're stabbing, you know what I mean? That makes it so much more effective. On the version I have, they have a scene here that they don't put in the movie, but it's like an extra couple of minutes of the chick that plays Sadie, the woman psychopath, where she's just pulling out in disemboweling her and just pulling out the intestines and just, which is, of course, made out of, condoms, filled with, Karo, colored Karo surf and stuff, but she just pulling them out. Of course, they didn't have that in this one, but that's one of the extra, they call forbidden scenes. I do believe what they call them. He finally decided to give in and help her out, but it's too late. The original idea for this, when he pulls out and he reveals that he's killed Phyllis, and he shows the arm, and the arm drops. The original idea for this, from the original script, was, because anybody that doesn't know, this movie was originally going to be almost like a porno, except for they were going to be having sex with dead bodies and with the blood and all this kind of stuff. Well, she was going to be molested with Phyllis's severed arm and hand. That's what was going to go on in that scene. But the stars in the movie talked Wes and Sean Cunningham out of it. But that's what was going to go on. It was going to be a much different kind of film. Yeah, I think this hollering and stuff that she's doing here, I think a lot of that is so much real reaction. Because by this time, by the time this scene is shot, I think she is so fed up with this group. I think she is so just traumatized by these people. You know, I know a little more about this scene being shot too, but I mean, I won't get into it. You can always check out the documentary. I'm sure it's probably somewhere here on YouTube. I won't get into any more of the negativity of it. But hey, what's up, Jerry? How you doing, man? You got this, or you checking out anything? The timestamp is 47 minutes. How you doing, man? Anybody pre-ordered that new Second Sight Martin 4K limited edition? I pre-ordered mine from Zavi. I'm kind of broke right this minute. Zavi doesn't require any money down, so I pre-ordered it from there. It gives me time to come up with the cash to get it, because it's a little expensive. But I wanted that for a minute. I love Second Sight shoes. This is the part that I was talking about. After Krug assaults her and she gets up and she just kind of looks at him. She just gives him this look like, and she walks off and she's throwing up. She's getting sick. And this, when she's getting up and she's getting ready to walk toward the water. See, she's just looking at him like, how could you? And then this part, I think this is the most important part of the film. The look on David Hess's face, on Krug's face, and on all their faces, when they just all just was kind of just looking at each other like, what kind of people are we? You know what I mean? I think for the first time ever, those three just realized how ridiculous and worthless they really are. I think that the realism set in how horrible and dastardly people they are. That's the idea that I get from it. I think they for the first time ever they just realized that. I don't think it really struck them before. They didn't, it's like they didn't know. And the first time they kind of looked at each other like, God damn, we're fucking we're we're a waste of humanity, aren't we? Yeah, and then they just kind of accept that and then go fuck it. But for a minute, they were actually people. Does anybody agree with that assessment? For a minute, for a brief second there, they were actually human beings. She's just standing there because she knows she knows he's going to kill her. She knew it, so she accepted her fate on her sixth. This is her 16th birthday. So tragic. A cute little dog. I was like, what the hell is that? Untie me, untie me. Talk to me, guys. Do you guys agree with my assessment of what happened there when they was all looking at each other? Do you agree that, for a minute there, they were actually people that realized that what they're doing is horrible? For a second there, they were actually human beings. If you agree with that, tell me. The cops are going to walk the rest of the way and take care of it. That's bad. The police department's got to walk to take care of the crime. They'll walk there and try to take care of these escaped prisoner rapists and murderers. That's awful. Because they didn't put gas in the car. That's some smoking the bandit shit. Except for instead of crashing the cars or running into each other, they just didn't put gas. Not to begin with, the sensei from Karate Kid, he was going to play crew, but he didn't want to play crew. He didn't want to play that part. So he told them, "Hey, I know a guy that looks brooding and just looks, kind of criminal-like. It's my sister's husband, and he's an actor." So he told them his name's David Hess. So they said, "Well, Wes Craven and Sean Cunningham said we'll bring him in." So okay, but he knew David Hess wasn't very big, so they wanted him to come off a little bigger to make sure he got the part. So they put on several sweaters. It was like the middle of July there in New York City, so he puts on layers of sweaters, to try to bulk himself up a little bit. And he's taking a cab down there downtown to the office where they was given, where they, they were trying out for the part. And about, he gets downtown and they're stuck in traffic and he's sweating and he's freaking out. And finally he just gets out of the cab and runs in there and he just like a maniac and screams at him, goes, "All right, goddamn it, I'm here." And that's how he got the part approved. Because he was just so hot. He was doing all those sweaters and it being hot outside and shit. Yeah, just imagine it could have been the old sensei from Karate Kid, Mark Code playing through. That'd have been different. Wouldn't have been nearly as effective. Because I think Hess makes this. I take it no one agreed with me about the criminals and becoming humans there for about 2 seconds. What, you guys aren't going to tell me? You guys aren't going to talk to me? What's the chat's for, guys? Come on, tell me. Communicate with me. kind of doing the cleansing thing. They're gonna cleanse off and try to look halfway presentable so they can get out of this stranded in the middle of nowhere problem. Since they got the blood of this girl all over them. They show up without, with somebody's blood shit all over. If they show up looking like they do now, I mean, even without the blood, it's going to be creepy as fuck. With the blood, somebody's going to trip. They just happen to have suits and all this kind of shit. Because remember, they said earlier on in the movie, we first introduced to the characters when they were all in that little apartment. She talked about, how she went and got them clothes. This is obviously those clothes. Now, to me, they show up here to the house. They show up here to Mary's house, and they act like they're, they're playing these roles. To even though even if I didn't know who they really are, I would have a hard time buying. I really would. They don't convince me. They they look shady either way. I'm like, well, they sure as fuck wouldn't be staying at my house. I promise you that. Like, well, your house is my one. I mean, look, and I always wonder what the point was. I mean, I understand you don't want him to see news clips and shit, but he's gonna walk right over and cut the TV cord. Like somebody's not gonna notice that shit. I'd notice that right away. The TV's always on. Well, okay. Well, I know I didn't cut the TV cord. I know my wife didn't cut the TV cord. Somebody's getting their ass whipped today. Whoever cut my TV cord is gonna get a foot right in the asshole this evening. That's point. You know what I mean? If they're trying to talk them out of watching TV, then go over and just cut some bit. You've been there 5 minutes and you already cut their TV cord. It's like you got to be a little more discreet than that, right? Stupid decisions. You're immediately arousing suspicion or suspicion. Yeah. Why don't I show you to your rooms, man? You're giving these people rooms you don't even know they're even in 1972. I mean, but shit. Well, look at it. Not 1969. The Manson shit had happened. So it's not like bad things haven't been happening in the world yet. You know what I mean? There's been a bunch of bad shit. The Starkweather, I mean, there's been a whole lot of bad shit. And now you're just going to hear these people's names for the very first time 2 minutes ago. And now, let me introduce you to your rooms. All right. You can stay in my daughter's room. She won't mind. Be like, look, man, yeah, our phone ain't working, but y'all look young enough. You're gonna have to walk somewhere. You're not staying in my house. That sounds fucked up, but I'm sorry. What's the chances? Yeah, this happened to be at her house. How long have these cops been walking? These motherfuckers, I mean, how far out is it? What, you think 10, 15 miles maybe? They're just walking. Now look, now see, they're watching them. Now, while all these people are eating, now there's some dead giveaways here. For one thing, the chick's got this bandage up on her head, so someone's cracked her in the fucking head, obviously. Now that, yeah, you don't see that shit every day. The bite mark on dude's wrist right here, obviously teeth. Now up here, like I said, there's a bandage on the head. It's like, man, you get these people out of your house, all right? They're just a couple of stupid ass people. Of course, you'd never guess that they've killed your daughter. You know they've done something, and you don't want them doing it to you, right? Uh, we got any mods in the chat here? I don't think we do. I don't think any of my mods are here. So what I will do is I will block them. See, fuck off. You don't need to find sex. Thank you. Now go away. Every time, man. Is it because of the movies that I watch, or is it just in general? You think? Probably doesn't help the movies I watch because there was one in no time this morning. Let's go on your face. There was like four in a row. Bam, 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 bam. Maybe I bitch a lot, but I'm just making a point here that they just would not be coming and invited directly into my home like that, even back then. Dude, this really says a lot about the crew character, what he's saying right here. They, they didn't fit in one bit with that doctor and his wife. You know, this is really important about these characters here. They did not fit in one bit. She didn't understand, like they don't understand all the different forks. You know what I mean? It's just like a completely different class. They just did not fit. Sitting there eating with a doctor and his wife made them feel so much lower class wise. Like, see, you can just see it in them that they just do. You know, explains a lot of why they are how they are. You know what I mean? It plays into it. It has to do with it. It really does. Fred Krueger, absolutely, Slash Fred, absolutely, man. Welcome, 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 my friend. Thank you for coming through. Wouldn't mind give me that like on there, give me a thumbs up if you would, man. You're very welcome. Very welcome. It's been stating some, you know, I like to do these watch alongs, guys. If you guys hadn't noticed, I like to point out a lot of obvious things, you know, from a character standpoint. Because when you're watching a movie, they aren't the actors, they aren't the real people, they're the characters. So I like to talk about the characters. I like to talk about the as if they're real people because you know that's just how I get into a movie. I look at them as if they're real people. During that hour and 20 minutes, an hour and 30 minutes, that's who they are. I'm a character watcher or something. I don't know. You know, you got your character actors. I'm a character watcher. I get into character watching. One thing about this that doesn't fit. Now she's going in here. No, this is all fine and good. You know, this makes sense. She's going in here because she heard him say that, you know what I mean, talking about killing her kids and stuff. So she overheard that. And she looks in the bag and she finds the blood on the clothes, right? And when she goes to look, she knows exactly, you know, there's a big, huge area, there's big, huge woods, you know, they're out in the middle of this, and she knows exactly where to go look. I always thought that was funny. She goes directly where her daughter is in the dark. Yeah, is what she hears. She, like the I just love the score of this. I think David Hess is such a good musician. David Hess is such a talented dude, man. he's never gotten the. You never hear people talk about David Hess being the talented dude that he is. He really was. I mean, he looked like a dastardly criminal, underhanded sleaze, but he was a really good actor and a really good musician. Like I said earlier, he taught acting and shit too. You know, you see, yeah, in the California Film Institute. Kind of hard to remember all of it, so I wrote down some notes so I can remember everything. You know, yeah. I can understand why they didn't explain how they was able to go directly to her and find her, but I find it a little convenient. And what Wes Craven wanted to do here when they take revenge on the psychos, what he wanted to do was like him. He wanted to do more stuff like stuff like the dream that Weasel's having. He wanted to do stuff like I know where the blah 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 artery is, and all this kind of stuff, and that's how he wanted to kill them off. But he kind of got outvoted, but this is how he didn't want it to be a dream. He wanted to do this kind of shit for real to him. But this right here, oh man, why you gotta go for why you gotta do the teeth? And the sound this makes is absolutely awesome. Oh, tink on the teeth, man. Teeth pain is absolutely the worst. I had my front teeth broken in half back when I used to be a wrestler. I had a broken front teeth broken right in half. And it was absolutely excruciating. This also played one of Hurricane's minions in Swamp Thing, absolutely. Also in a House the Edge of the Park, Hitchhiker. Oh yeah, yeah. That was a great character, Fred. Man, I actually wish we'd have seen a little more of him in Swamp Thing. He always played that character though, didn't? Because I mean, he's Krug, like in House the Edge of the Park. He's Krug, man. I mean, period. He's Krug in that movie. Except for the end part when he takes so much pity on his friend, the dude from City of Living Dead, from Pussy City of Living Dead. I can't remember that guy's name, but remember he's also in City of Living Dead. He's the one that gets the drill through his head. His partner in crime in House at the Edge of the Park. But the pity he takes on his buddy at the end of House at the Edge of the Park. Krug wouldn't have done that. That's the only difference. Other than that, he's Krug in that movie. He's thinking about this. One thing about this is when she brings him to the point when she bites. What I mean, why does she get him all the way to that point before she bites him? They've also proven that getting your dick cut off, even when it's hard or whatever, won't kill you. I was talking about this earlier with I Spit on Your Grave. I guess that won't kill you. I know for years I thought it would, but I found out recently that that's not true. I think that's a bummer because if that happened to me, I would want it to kill me. He was like a man with a huge appetite. I'm all the spaghetti tonight. Yeah, that's true. This weasel dude, he just you can pick a better name for this fucker. Man, your room is in this fucking snake. Man. He is a weasel. It's absolutely perfect. Anybody anybody curious timestamp is minute eight or minute eight, an hour 8 minutes. Yeah, in a few seconds. Make love to him. Look like my hands stuck on the back. Oh, you just sucked yourself, buddy. He wants to go to the couch and Mary's on the couch. And he's such a confident, sleazy, slimy piece of shit that he thinks he's got it all covered. And Station with Revenge Film. Almost Revenge for that. Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And you knew we come in a little bit late, but I was talking about how the interior here isn't the house, but the woods and that area there where they shot most of this was shot at Cunningham's parents' house there in Connecticut. There's a couple of acres or whatever that they have outside there. With that little that little cemetery and everything. That's all right there around Cunningham's parents' house. I was talking about earlier, Fred. I've been talking about the film the whole time, man. I don't think I left anything out this whole hour and 10 minutes. Might have been a couple things, but I don't think there's been much, man. I think I've ran my mouth on a constant basis about everything about it. Try to keep it entertaining and knowledgeable and all that shit, you know. Try to, you know, definitely don't just babble about shit. You know, I at least make it, you know, don't just talk. That's what I'm saying. I don't just talk, just hear myself talk. When I do talk, it's stuff that's true. You know what I mean? It's fact. No man could do that. She's just playing this dumbass. Like I say, he just a slimy, confident piece of crap. Comes there to stay this guy. He's immediately wanting to fuck with this guy's wife. He's helped kill the guy, he abduct and kill the guy's daughter. And now he's wanting to fuck the guy's wife. You know, and he just thinks it's just gonna he's just gonna go his way. Meanwhile, that's another thing. But Wes Craven is got a big fascination for, you know, he's talking about Sean Cunningham, you know, having a fascination with revenge. Um, Wes has got a fascination with setting up booby traps. You know what I mean? You'll see that in a lot of his shows. A lot of the stuff there is stuff you see in like Nightmare on Elm Street and shit like that. Set up, you know, the wire and all that kind of stuff. And horror slasher there. Oh my god, man. The cops are just absolutely slapped. Like I said, the '70s loved to poke fun at cops, man. Look, you got Smoking Bandit, you know what I mean? You got the Dukes of Hazzard starting in the late '70s, I believe. I mean, you know, all those, you know, Crazy Mary, you know, it's just, yeah. They, I mean, how many times in a real situation have you seen the cops run out of gas? You know, that's the last thing that happened. The only thing different about this is they're running out of gas. They're not crashing into each other looking like dipshit. Yeah. Oh, I just scared the little fellow. He was not little, you just scared it. Oh, the little fellow. He zipped it right out of his pants. Oh, the little fella. He's not little, you just scared it. Man, he's wide awake, man. He's not stupid. Cruz, you know, Cruz a psychopath, but you know, psychopaths aren't stupid. He knows what's up. He's not just fucking ignorant and cocky as a weasel is. He knows the possibilities. Instant minute 14 or hour and 14. What you saying? 1 hour 14 minutes. Oh, well, they did that. There is he by the scene the featurette. He through there, he put a belt through there and hung the belt out, and then she put her mouth on the belt and bit in the belt. That way, she has something to jerk back and forth on. That was Fred Lincoln, the one who played Weasel's idea. Well, I don't like the guy much. Fred Lincoln, I didn't like it much. Just the interview and everything. I didn't care for the guy much, but he had some good ideas. That was a really good idea. That way, she just wasn't moving her head. She actually had a hold of something, so you know, come off a lot better, the effective. Boom. Something I didn't. Very first time I ever seen this, I didn't notice that Krug had actually been hit with the buckshot. He's actually been shot a little bit in the shoulder. I don't know how I missed that. Years back, first time I didn't see it. Then after that, I noticed that yeah, he actually had been caught a little bit, but not bad, but just enough to hurt him. I don't care, man. If I'm this doctor, man, I'm not letting him know. I'm punching him in the throat, man. I'm doing something with this motherfucker. I'm just gonna let him. Look, he's shot. He's hurt. He's assaulted and murdered your daughter. I'm gonna take that poker and I'm gonna shove it right up his ass. I mean, he's gonna get hurt. I'm not just gonna punch him and let him make fun of me and fuck with me. I mean, he's gonna get killed. Now he's gonna whoop his ass and talk shit to him. Come on, Doc. Come on, Doc. You can be better than that. Thank you. Move for more of them. One of the girls said Lord's Prayer. Never know Street Nancy also before her final showdown was ready. Yep. Yep. I love the booby trap thing. You know what I mean? Wes just had little things that he would always would do. Man, I miss Wes Craven. Wes Craven, Toby Hooper, George Romero. I miss all them guys, man. We lost we lost some really good filmmakers. We really did. And Carpenter don't do shit anymore. So it's like, Stuart Gordon died too, didn't he? Pretty sure he did, right? I did Dolls here just about a week and a half ago. Week and a half ago. Dolls is really good. Finally stands up and does something. He's so screwed up, and he's let this poor kid be dope sick, got him hooked on it, and then he's done everything he said, and he just let him be sick as hell this whole time. So now he doesn't care anymore, man. He's not gonna make his worthless dad happy. At the same time, he could have shot him there, but he didn't. He's just tired of it. He just tired of watching Krug do all this bad shit. He just had it, man. All he can do is just say bad shit. And it's your son, man. Come on. It's just bad. It's the only time you ever hear him say that, refer to himself as his daddy. Listen to daddy. I want you to turn around and put the gun in your mouth and blow your brains out. There's actually people that bad in this world, folks. There really is, my friends. There's people that bad. That's the fucked up part. That's the part that makes the kind of movie so bad. There's people that bad out there. And when he actually does it, he actually looks, for a second, he looks kind of surprised. But then it just doesn't bother him. He's just like, okay. When he hears the chainsaw start going, he just moves right on to the next thing. His brains out like I told him to. Oh well, fuck it. True sociopath, man. True sociopath. The only pain that a sociopath feels is their own. It's pain that directly affects them, their person. So like, even his partners in crime, his girlfriend, his buddy Weasley, they don't give a shit about that. What good they are is they help him accomplish his fucking his bullshit. Other than that, he'd kill them in a minute. Don't worry about it. He's got a chainsaw, you dumbass. You know, just when I was getting credit for being smarter, the dumbass is gonna lock the door and put his back up against it when the man's got a chainsaw coming at him. That's great. Oh shit, chainsaw is going through. Yeah, this is yeah. Doc said no. Doc said no, I got to equalize because he can't whoop Krug's ass. He found this out, right? He, all right, I'll just chainsaw your ass. This will be fine. She turns on Krug too. She's like, man, that man's got a chainsaw. She's like, get away from me. That dude's coming at you with a chainsaw, motherfucker. I don't want nothing to do with you. You stay over there. Oh, the movie track comes in, getting shot like a motherfucker touching that. Zzz. Y'all got set up. She got the hell out the back door. She's running. Oh, drop the knife. Ooh. She just wants to get out of there, but the mom is just desperate. She's like, bitch, you killed my little girl. I'm gonna fuck you up. There's a couple of parents that are just fucking mad as hell. They haven't even grieved yet. They're just pissed. They're going through all the different emotions. Right now, they're just angry. They're going to get their vengeance. Then they'll grieve. First, they're taking out the motherfuckers that did it. The mom's not going to whoop the crazy Sadie. You know, she needs to equalize. It's like Dad got the equalizer. Now Krug's fucked up. He's lost enough blood now to fuck with him. You know, he's just trying to get his dad off him now. She runs directly into the pool. They said this pool was so nasty. They said water had been in it forever. You know what I mean? I'm sure about there seen one of those pools that's had water in it for a long ass time and hadn't been drained out and cleaned. Or, you know what I mean? And that's what she jumped to land right into. She said it was so nasty. Got in her ears, nose. Ugh. We should go back there. She had the blood packs. We should go back. She's like, call some blood. One they used to use a lot. I'm not so sure how much they use it before. They used to use that a lot. It's just now they show up perfect. Yeah, it's something they used to do all the time too. And so these, you know, 70s and 80s is when you know when all the shit's done. The cops show up. Never shows exactly what he did to Krug, but you can see the spray of the blood all over the sheriff's face. It's all over him. So he carved up Krug real good with that chain. See here, let me have it here. Let me just take that from you, sir. Let me just relieve you of the chainsaw. This makes you wonder what happened after this. I mean, you can't really, you know, you can't really prosecute him, can you? I mean, come on, man. It was awesome, great, great as usual. Really good show. One of my favorites. Before I get off here, turn the light on here. I've had more copies of this before, but this is a DVD version that I have. It's the MGM release. I had the Anchor Bay and all that. This is my Arrow edition, of course. That's what I have. Oh, I'm gonna remove this. Here's the LP. The vinyl. There. And of course, in here is now photos of them. It's only a movie. Only a movie. Oh, There's a movie from Alpha Park right there with him and that guy I was talking about. See Living Dead. And of course, here is. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me in this watch. I'll probably be back Monday. Do something. I'm not sure what it'll be, but for sure we'll be here Tuesday for burial ground. Here, I'll put this away here. Be here. Here's a VHS of it. Be here Tuesday night for sure. The Burial Ground with John Steele. It's a very, very overlooked zombie movie, so I'm putting it on Tuesday night. Forgotten Horror Archive show. Watch along. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming by. I appreciate it so much. I got mad love for all you guys. Have a great night. I had a great night. I had a great time. I hope everybody else did. Much love to everybody. I am Goraphobe, and don't forget, you guys are not. Have a great time.